Alright. So, last time we left off here in the Curse of Strahd campaign, the party had just cleared out the Wizard of Wine's winery of the Druid incursion, killing a number of them and quite a few blights along the way by destroying the dark Goltius staff that they had come across, being dropped by one of the druids. We left off as the party was just about to return to the Mardukov family and, well, let them know that their property has been liberated. And so, that is where we'll pick things up. What are we doing?
Okay, so we hid him in the bathroom and broke the staff, right? Did we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Wait, who did we hide in the bathroom?
You.
Oh.
Remember you were being all noisy and stuff in the bathroom?
Oh, yes!
And drawing the attention of the blights so they'd all kind of converge on that location.
Yes, okay, gotcha.
And then once they all got in range of being destroyed when the staff was broken, you broke the staff, and they all just crumbled before your eyes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, I will open the door. Is it clear?
Was a lovely
Yes.
sight of death.
And I missed it? Damn. I'll come out and join the group.
Yeah, you just see what looks to be like a number of busted up twigs and shredded vines just kind of sitting in a number of piles across the extent of the property that you can see right now.
I'm gonna prestidigitation a path. Just a direct
Okay.
path. To
Alright,
the,
prestidigitation as a leaf blower.
family. Basically, yes.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leaf blow a path straight ahead, like straight to the family.
Alright.
I'm
So,
going to unleaf blower it in the rear to cover our trail. With prestidigitation.
okay.
For no reason.
I mean, maybe he has his reasons.
He likes to.
That's a reason.
He's a dick.
Also a reason.
I don't care. That's fine. And I'll head over to where the family last was.
No,
Alright.
like I'm in the back and I'm like the last one to go on the clean trail and I'm messing it up as I go.
So you're undoing all the work I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not before you walk on. Like you go onto the clean dirt and then moving
He's
on.
making sure that the family we're doing this for has to clean up that mess.
Fair enough. That's fine.
I'm just trying to cover our trail.
They know where we're going. Away. Like.
Okay. So, you leaf blow / leaf return your way north of the house and the winery, across a small stretch of the vineyard, up to the stand of trees where you had initially been flagged down by the Mardukov family. And still sort of huddled several feet beyond the tree line, you can see the family. A number of displaced Barovian folks, looking certainly out of their element, dressed in somewhat nice clothing, particularly for a group of refugees, but they do all still seem to be here. You don't find anything harassing them or encounter any issues of your own on the way up to the tree stand. So you have returned. What would you like to do?
So are they up in the tree, or are they...
No, they're kind of retreated a few feet beyond the tree line to kind of maintain cover from outside prying eyes that, maybe there's another druid or something that you guys didn't manage to get, and they don't want to be exposed to that risk.
Okay, I do see them. I just wanted to make sure I actually saw them.
Yeah, well, once, the group knowing that the family is there, you kind of know to return, and once they see you, they're not as intentional about their hiding.
I know, but I still wanted to make sure I saw them.
He's pretty oblivious to a lot of things.
I am.
This is true.
So I'll walk up to them and say, well, if there were 3 druids, then you're good. If there were 4, we may have to come
find
in.
The 4th one.
Yeah, we may have to come stay here for the night and make sure it doesn't show up.
The head of the family, who you've had a discussion with before, Davian Mardukov, steps up and says, "You've cleared all that you could find then."
Yep.
And the creatures that they brought with them.
Deader than a doornail. I'll say this, you got some nice firewood.
He just kind of nods. He doesn't really seem to bite on the joke. And he kind of continues, maintains eye contact as he says, "Well, thank you."
Oh, one thing you might want to know. One of them was pouring some liquid in a vial into your vats of wine. So I wouldn't recommend using the next couple vats that you had prepared. I would say dump that and just start from fresh.
Indeed. This is good to know.
So we took her out as she was pouring the last of the vials into the vat. And would I know which one, to tell him which one it was?
Yeah, so you remember as you entered the room with the fermentation vats, you saw the druid pouring what looked to be the last of the contents of that bottle into the farthest vat from where you had entered. So it would essentially be the one on the western end of the room.
Okay, so I tell him that one specifically is bad. He might want to check the other ones then.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. It says, well, hey, thank you for what you have done. I fear that we are not quite back to the way things were, as it has come to our attention that something has been stolen from us. One of the seeds that allow us to grow the grapes we use to make this this vine that we sell to Albarovia. I suspect that perhaps the rest of the druids might have stolen this item from us. I fully recognize that you have already done us a great service by clearing the property, but is there any way you could at least see what might have become of this item?
So it's just a seed?
He pauses, seemingly trying to think of the right words to describe the item that he's inquiring about. He says, "Oh, it's really looks like a gemstone of sorts."
Now you're talking.
Vibrant, green, glowing. Would be quite recognizable.
And what exactly does it do?
Until recently, it was planted in the fields to help the grapes grow at the rate that they've been growing, and in general, it is very difficult to grow crops here in Barovia, and this is the only way that we can keep up with the demand of all of Barovia for wine.
Would I know what this is, Eric? As a druid?
Um, you have a general idea. I mean, given that it's not really something that is commonly used in the prime material plane, like, you know that the magic exists, and you find it feasible that it could be infused into an item.
Okay.
Yeah, so Davian kind of just looks at the party.
Do you know which way they would have came from, or which way they would have been heading?
Probably to that foul hill that they call home. Down to the south. There is a path that leads away from the property that we are on, through the woods for about a mile, to a clearing. Top the hill, they make their residence and conduct foul rituals in the shadow of a twisted, dark tree.
I look at the rest of the party. Do we want to go tonight, or do we want to rest first?
We should rest first.
Okay.
I agree. We just had that battle.
Okay. How many family members are there?
Including Davian?
Yes.
Let's see. Let me count these peoples up. That would be a total of 9 people.
A total of 9?
Yeah.
Are there, like, is there a baby or, like, little tiny kids?
Yes.
How many?
Alright. So, let's see here. We've got...
Realistically, I just need to exclude 3 people. So if they're, like, young children or anything.
Okay. Let's see. So, yeah, there are essentially 3 that would be called, kids. There's 2 young boys and a baby girl.
Okay, so I will exclude them. Just now knowing what it is, and I can do this. So I'll say, okay, well, would you mind if we stayed in the winery for the night? And we can tackle it in the morning. I have a few spells that I can use to aid us in making sure they don't come in.
You are more than welcome to stay as long as you need. It's the least we can do.
Okay, so I say, well, let's get inside then. And I'll instruct them to put the 3 kids over. And, like, uh, do I know what doorway the druids came to get in?
Like for their initial assault on the winery.
Yeah. I don't. I guess, can
Um,
I ask?
yeah.
Just.
So the answer you get is essentially they seem to have kind of wheeled around the property, actually attacking from the woods to the east and kind of storming the facility from the north side, which is the side that you are currently, if you were to go and look at the building, you'd be facing that north face.
Alright. And is there one door that they focused on?
Yeah, it would seem that they mostly kind of streamed in through the bay door,
Okay.
where you guys entered essentially when you made your way in there for the first time.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'm gonna open the bay door, have everybody stand there, minus the 3 kids with me, including Yoan and Malkar, and I'm gonna cast Ron's Tiny Hut, like right in the doorway,
Okay.
and I'm gonna tell them that, explain to them what it does, and explain to them that they are free to pass. The kids, however, cannot, but I didn't figure they were going to be going outside tonight anyway.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, nothing else can get in this door, so I essentially put an impassable wall up for them.
Yeah.
So, and I will shut the door and just say, this door is completely sealed off. So,
Okay.
and I will go in and, I guess, aid them in getting rid of the bodies. Like, just toss them out or whatever they do.
You can't.
Yeah.
Wait, why?
Because you can't leave its area.
No, you're free to pass. It says creatures
The
are...
spell ends if you leave its area.
If you specifically leave its area.
Yeah.
Oh,
First sentence. First paragraph, last sentence.
Oh. That's fine. I won't help. I will just stay there. That's fine. I'm okay with this.
Okay. I will help.
Okay.
So, just a question of, like, usability. Can I make it so I can't go through as well? So, like, I could sit up against it and lean against the bubble? Otherwise, sitting on the floor would get quite uncomfortable.
We bring you a chair.
Okay,
Can't we?
that works, son.
Okay.
I will ask for a chair and have you bring me a chair. And I'll just kind of open the door and just sit there in the chair, just slouched down and just kind of relax like that.
Okay.
Just watch it rain.
Do they have a cot or something you can bring him so that he can sleep laying down and not in a chair?
Let's see. Yeah, they probably have a spare, mattress or something sitting around that they could bring down.
That works. I'll just sleep on that.
Okay.
Still gonna watch it rain.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to do before going to sleep for the evening, I suppose?
I'm going to make my dome dimly lit.
I'm going to read my book for like an hour.
Okay.
I'm gonna sleep and enjoy it.
All right.
Maybe drink some of their wine.
Yeah, upon inquiring about wine, are told that there are probably 3 to 6 barrels, spread out over the interior of the winery that don't seem to have been tainted with any kind of poison or additives or whatever. In the interest of safety, the family has just decided that they are not going to use any of the wine in any of the fermentation vats, and they're just going to dispose of that. But there's at least a little bit to be had.
I'll ask Yoan to bring me some too.
I will gladly bring him some.
And what Yoan sees when he walks up is Ron has essentially hotboxed the dome. And, yeah. He just completely hotboxed it.
Of course.
So. And when Yoan comes over, I offer Yoan a hit. And I offer Yoan to come in.
Eh. Sure, why not?
Okay. And then I will, for my last second level spell, cast Sending. And I'm going to send Melkar a message saying, "Wanna come smoke?"
I didn't ever leave your dome.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, never mind then. I thought you had gone off to do something.
No, I was just reading the book.
Oh, well then I'll just message you. Wait, you're in the dome still? Or I thought you were off.
No,
He just said he was reading the book. He didn't say he left to go anywhere.
Oh. Well, okay then. Melkar's already in here. Cool. That works.
All right.
3 adventures, hotbox in a tiny hut.
Also, for the level up, I got my 3rd invocation, and I got the one that allows me to read all writing again.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you go.
If that has any impact on reading it.
Okay. Duly noted. I would say everything thus far going through the book has been written in common, but you never know when that could come in handy.
Alright.
All right. Anything else before retiring for the evening?
I look at Melkar and say, "You want to get first watch?"
But with this dome, isn't nothing allowed to pass through here except who was in it?
Yeah, but
There's more doors.
yeah.
What?
There's more than just these doors.
Well, as long as we're in the dome, be fine.
Well, but we don't
Not-
want anything sneaking up on the family either.
Yeah.
Alright, so am I watching outside, or am I watching, like, inside?
And you could probably just wander around inside and listen.
I mean, hell, you could probably just sit there and read your book and just keep an ear out. You know, just... Like, if you're watching a kid, you just are sitting there reading a book waiting.
Yeah, I'm just gonna... I'll take first watch, yeah.
Okay.
You can go to sleep if you want.
Okay.
I leave and go find a nice surface to sleep on.
I say, Yoan, I'll call you if we need you.
Okay.
All right. So Melkar, go ahead and make a perception check. Okay. All seems to be still out in the vineyard surrounding the winery. Your first watch goes by uneventfully as you are just serenaded by the faint snores of Ron as he sleeps.
I was reading my book pretty much that entire time, anyways.
That's fine.
0 fucks given.
I guess after the end of the watch, I'll wake Ron up. We can take the next watch.
Okay. So I will wake up and just kind of grab the chair that was still nearby and sit in the chair and just sit and watch outside. Just
Okay.
kind of think to myself, maybe smoke a little bit more.
Alright. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Right.
Okay. Once again, your watch goes by uneventfully. It doesn't even seem to be any wind blowing through the trees outside. It's just perfectly still out there.
Okay.
But nothing happens.
How long were our watches?
Well,
Are you planning it so that everyone has a watch?
I think that
Well-
was the idea.
Yoan wasn't there, but I guess I will I will cast Sending then, which is my last second level spell,
Okay.
and send Yoan a message saying, Yoan, time to get up. It's your turn to watch.
I mean, I guess I perceive it and get up and watch. I'll just kind of like wander the winery.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. Alright. So, yeah, you spend the next few hours sort of patrolling the winery. Up and down the hallways, peeking out the windows, examining the perimeter as much as you can. You don't see anything. Or hear anything. Or in any other way perceive anything.
Okay.
It's a still and quiet night.
The
how
other
long-
people start getting up now. Like, I don't know if we have like 3-hour watches or something.
Yeah, thereabouts. And yeah, that would be long enough that the family is probably starting to stir and wake for the beginning of the next day.
Okay. I go back to take another 2-hour nap. Let them watch themselves for a little bit.
Okay. Well, you all wake up, rested,
Cool.
all of your spells back, all of your hit points healed.
I'm working on it.
And it is a new day in Barovia.
And I get my hit die back, because I think we used hit die last time.
Yes, you can regain up to half your level in hit dice.
Oh, you know, they still have the arrows on the bells.
Do they?
Lots remaining. Yeah, they're just not at the end. They're in the middle.
Oh. Huh. Okay. Good to know.
Okay.
So I will wake up, and seeing that everything's okay, I will leave the bubble.
Okay. And as soon as you break the surface of the bubble, it just dissipates.
I want it to pop.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping like I would just kind of wake up, take just a step outside, and as soon as my foot passes, just and just pops. But that works. So I will. I'll keep that in mind and try to see if I can work the spell to make it do that.
Okay.
Find a new way to cast the spell. And I will go and find Yoan,
Okay.
which I believe you were taking a nap.
I mean, I'm probably getting up and on the prowl for breakfast.
Oh, okay. Well, I will find Yoan, and discovering Yoan is on the prowl for breakfast, I will happily join him.
Okay. And yeah, as you explore the winery now that the sun is, well, you can't really see it rising per se, but there's certainly more light out than there was in the dead of night, so presumably rising. You do, make your way to the kitchen dining room area, where you do see the early stages of breakfast being put out on the table. Davian and the family, of course, cordially invite you to take part and eat your fill.
And so I do.
Yep.
And if Melkar is not with us, I will go retrieve him. I'm not sure what Melkar was doing.
I just waking up, I guess.
Alright. Well, are you following us to go find breakfast?
Yeah.
Okay. Good then.
Then evil men have to eat.
Cannot live on evil alone.
Sadly.
Alright. So, you have a decent breakfast, consisting mostly of a few freshly cooked eggs, a few salted and spiced meats, a little bit of breakfast wine. But yeah, once you've at least fended off hunger, if not eaten to the point of being full, yeah, breakfast comes to an end, and you are free to do as you wish.
Shall we head off now?
Yes, but first I will cast Prestidigitation on my plate, Yoan's plate, and Melkar's plate to clean them.
Okay.
And then I will walk outside and just kind of, fresh morning, just kind of and stretch and just wait for everybody else.
I mean, I come fairly quickly behind him.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to do, so.
Okay. Malkar doing the same?
Yeah, in a broody fashion with my hood up while reading the book.
Okay.
Melkar, what's wrong with you today? You look broody. You look a little pissed off.
No, just getting into the book.
Oh. Well, the quicker we get this done, the quicker we can get back here and you can read.
Can't read on the way there?
I mean, you can try, but you might trip.
Alright. I just... with the typical sound, closing my book and follow suit.
Alright.
Okay.
So, I guess we'll head out towards... I'm gonna have Yoan go ahead, because he's better at moving through the forest than we are.
I'm gonna sneakily move through the forest as best I can.
Okay.
I guess I'll attempt to sneakily as well.
Is it like dark or something?
Mm-mm.
No. There's a path. I'm just going through the forest. Because
Oh.
we're going towards things that might possibly want to kill us, so I just kind of don't want to march into them.
Yeah. And as you venture down toward the path leading away from the vineyard and the winery, you see a familiar coating of just densely overgrown shrubs and weeds, partially choking out the path that you intend to take. But
Are they magical?
they seem to have been at least assisted in their growth by some means of magic.
Can I prestidigitation and leaf blower some of the shit out of my way? In conjunction with Eldritch Blast?
Yeah, I think that's what you did to make your way to the winery. Just kind of
Yeah.
Eldritch blasted your way through.
Okay, I couldn't remember whether it was prestidigitation or Eldritch Blast.
Yeah, I think you just kind of punched your way through with the blast.
Okay, yep, I'm gonna do that as well.
Okay.
Stealthily, like I'm gonna take,
Just blowing up trees.
Sneaky.
No, I mean, no, but like I'm just kind of like pushing it out of my way.
Yeah, kind of like just parting the branches and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, rather than just punching holes through shit.
Okay.
Guess I would use prestidigitation to do that. It'd be like a form of cleaning, like you're moving twigs and leaves out of the way.
Clean up the forest.
Yes, let's do it.
All right. So it's it's rather slow going. It probably takes you a better part of an hour to cover the almost a mile that the path traverses, kind of twisting and turning through the woods as it goes. But eventually you come to a sort of straightaway along the path where you see what looks to be finally a break in the tree line. And kind of expanding out before you, you see a clearing with a hill that seems to climb quite steeply. Looks as though it probably goes up. Oh, let's see here. Well, in places, even maybe 200-300 feet. It's quite a large clearing. Looking around, as you've kind of surveyed the base of the hill.
The clearing is that big, or the hill is that tall?
The hill reaches that height at certain points.
Okay.
Yeah. So, let's see here. As you kind of survey the base of the hill where you are, you can see that there are a number of small piles of stone that kind of dot the perimeter of the hill, just as it starts to, just as the incline toward the hilltop starts. There are just these rather densely packed little mounds of stones, probably one placed every 5 to 10 feet, just entirely around what you can see of the perimeter of the hill. And sort of tracing along these rock piles, you can see some crudely fashioned dirt trails kind of running along, forming two separate rings that of different radii around the climbing, just early incline toward the hilltop.
Do I know what this could before?
Go ahead and make a history check. Okay.
Being a druid and all that.
Yeah, you've heard of some things kind of similar to this. These sort of remind you of possibly like burial cairns, monuments to the fallen dead.
Okay. I don't trust it, but I will pass this information along to my group sneakily if I can.
Okay.
I will say, like, you stopped to inspect that, right? Like, stop to look at it?
What?
Like, did you stop to look at it?
Yeah.
Alright, I will message you and say, hey, why'd you stop? And then you can relay it to me and I'll relay it to him via message.
Okay.
All right.
Making things
And-
work.
Let's see. As that exchange is going on, see here. Make a quick check for something. All right.
TPK.
Well, no, that was a complete silent exchange.
Yoan and Malkar can vaguely hear what sounds like a droning, repetitive chant, just kind of emanating from seemingly somewhere along the hilltop. It's hard to make out what's being said, but just seems to be a single phrase or word or something just being repeated time and time and time and time again.
Does it sound familiar to the language that the babbling druid that was like insane or whatever was speaking?
It's hard to even make out what's being said. It's hard to articulate the sounds just due to the sheer distance and dispersal of sound. You can just hear that something is being said kind of off in the distance, somewhere along the hilltop.
I will use my awakened mind and telepathically say to Ron that could hear some chanting up there. We should proceed with caution.
But don't tell me.
I'll relay this to Yoan as well. And I guess I'll start sneaking my way up to the hilltop.
Okay. So you make your way into the clearing along the path that seems to continue into the clearing, up the hill, and over its crest to whatever lies at the top. There are, well, several kind of minor bumps and partial paths as you make your way up the side of the hill. How far would you like to go?
How close do you think we would have to be for the words or whatever they're chanting to be more legible, I guess that's to say?
I don't know, probably like halfway up the hill or so.
I'll go a little over halfway,
Okay,
like 2/3.
alright. So, as you make your way up the hill, you
I'm following behind him, but at like 10 feet away.
okay. Um,
I'm in between the two of them.
all right. You do hear the sounds start to articulate a little bit more, and it sounds as though they're just chanting Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter.
Is in common.
Yes.
The fuck is a Wintersplinter? I messaged that to Yoan.
You cut out.
Oh, I said I messaged that to Yoan. I say, what the fuck is a Wintersplinter?
Do I have any idea what a Wintersplinter is?
And the only
Go
reason
ahead
I'm
and
asking Yoan is Druid.
make a nature check.
Could I potentially do a history check? Being a librarian before?
Sure.
Fuck.
Neither of you have any idea what this could mean.
I want to get towards the top of the hill to where I can start seeing whomever's chanting this. Try and figure out what's going on from there.
Okay.
I'll follow.
All right.
Keep going up.
So you keep pushing forward and eventually make your way to where you're just able to see a few things over the hilltop. As you first kind of gain some visibility over the top, you can see that atop the hill is this wide ring of black boulders and other smaller rocks that collectively form a makeshift wall of sorts, enclosing a field of dead, dried grass. As you look on, lightning begins to strike the edge of the ring several times over the next few seconds as you're just gazing on, illuminating this ghastly 50-foot tall statue that seems to be placed in the center of the circle, made of woven twigs and packed with this dark, almost blackish colored earth. The statue seems to resemble a towering, cloaked man with fangs.
Like a vampire?
More or less.
Okay.
How wide is this ring with the people around it? Or in it?
The ring is approximately, let's say 30 to 35 feet across.
How many people?
Let's see. It would work out to be a total of about a dozen.
And they're in it or around it?
They are in it,
Alright.
dancing around. A number of them looking very similar to the druids that you fought off at the winery, as well as a few almost rotted out looking hulking forms wielding large heavy weapons like battle axes and war hammers.
How big is the circle? Sorry.
Like 30
About 30 feet across.
Okay.
and I'm able to see in it, right? It's not like a really tall circle.
No, you can see in it.
Okay. I'm gonna mutter to the rest of the group and say this is as good a time as any. And I'm gonna cast that in the middle of the ring.
Well, as he does that, I'm gonna go ahead and shatter. Right in the middle as well.
I am going to also cast something.
Okay.
Just as like a surprise attack, we are all just fucking them.
Let me check the range. Oh,
My area will cover the entire ring and a little extra.
and
And mine is going to fear the fuck out of people. And I potentially could break those staff. If they have one of those staff things for the
spikers.
blight. That could be...
Oh, hold on. I misread a legend here. So before we get too wrapped up in this, the scaling I quoted you was a bit off for the size of the clearing.
Is it?
Let me math. It is.
Is it 30 to 35 squares?
Well, just looking down at the legend here, this thing is fucking huge. The circle itself is about 250 feet across.
Oh,
Oh.
I will redact my action.
Yeah, I will redact
Fair play.
that too.
Me too.
Yep.
I will cast something else though.
Okay.
You said there was like a dozen people or whatever, and then some hulking masses with weapons.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what you do.
So are they just completely scattered within it, or?
They seem to be somewhat adhering to the circular shape. Not necessarily evenly spaced, but all kind of within say 30 to 50 feet of the statue in the center.
Okay, so
What I
all
do?
within 30 to 50 feet, so like 80 feet across.
Well, yeah, 60 to 100.
60 to 100.
Yeah.
Okay, centered on that statue. I'm gonna cast that.
Yoan
you
spell
see it?
name.
You are casting Yoan spell name base.
Well, it did it for me, so let me copy.
I was just gonna say, before any of that happens, can I say, can I mentally tell them, give me a minute, and I want to cast Ron's Tiny Hut on us.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna make it completely see-through both ways.
Well,
Just
you can make it see through
Oh,
for
wait,
us
wait.
and dark for them.
I can't cast through it.
you can go out
So,
and come
yeah,
back in.
I'll have to
though.
go out and come back.
I just did this so that we have a place to go where they can't fucking touch us.
Okay.
I can't do shit for this battle, but I can do that.
That. I'm casting that. It's called Sleet Storm.
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's...
Well, okay, so like the description and everything showed up, but just the name of the spell.
Oh, it's called Sleet Storm. I don't know what its problem is. It's there.
Okay.
Like... yeah. I'm casting that.
All right.
It has an 80-foot diameter.
I guess. Would I be able to hit like a handful of them? Because that's a 40-foot wide radius for that spell I was gonna cast, or not radius, but total. The radius is 20 feet.
Well, you guys would have to step out of the bubble.
That's fine.
And just
Before you cast the bubble, I'm casting that. Then you can cast your bubble.
Well, my bubble takes a minute, so...
Okay. Well, I give you 53 seconds, and then I cast mine, and then you get your bubble. Okay?
Okay. That
This is
works.
meticulously executed down to the second.
Yes.
Exactly.
I'll cast roughly the same time as Yoan. before the bubble
Okay.
goes up. Same thing.
All right.
You just
Try-
dropping it in the biggest concentration of people.
Yeah, whatever can engulf the most. 40-foot
Okay.
wide circle.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So, all right. So the sleet storm suddenly just materializes over this frothing, rabid mob of druids and whatever these other hulking things are. Um, just pelting them with rain and sleet. Um, let's see. Is it? Yeah, okay. So they have to not do anything yet, right?
Yep.
Okay,
When it starts its turn there.
gotcha. All right. And then you were
They
casting.
don't take any damage,
Right.
but they're prone. They can't do too much. They can they cast range spells while they're prone? Ranged attacks?
Probably with disadvantage. I don't know.
What are the attacking rules on being prone?
I think being prone counts as quarter cover or 3/4 cover.
Yeah,
For
it
you,
does. It helps you with
but
getting
it
hit,
hurts
and
too. Right? For like your ranged, you don't have very much sight. It's like they have half cover or something.
well,
I mean, that area is obscured.
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean if they're prone, I believe it is like disadvantage too. Like,
So just the general rule is, yeah, ranged attacks have some issues against the prone creature, but the prone creature does have disadvantage on attack rolls.
oh, on any attack roll.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good to know.
And also, no one can see each other.
Uh, actually, Malkar and I can see anybody because spell
Because-
sniper.
Well, I can't. But the area is heavily obscured.
No, that's fine. I will make my
So,
dome heavily
unless
obscured.
they have that, they can't. Yes.
I make my dome just black, just completely black.
Okay. All
I
right.
could make it gray like the sky behind us.
Mm.
I'm curious. My spell says
Mhm.
no light, magical or otherwise, can illuminate the area. Does that mean my devil sight can't see through it?
I
That is
actually saw
correct.
that. Well, actually, I saw on that spell when you linked it, there was a comment saying of somebody talking just about that.
No one can see anything.
So anyway, yeah, the darkness erupts amidst the downpour of rain and sleet, and well, it's hard to really see what's going on in there, but a few of the chants of Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter suddenly turn to screams and almost whimpering and crying. It's hard to imagine what might be going on in there, but it's certainly not pleasant.
Did you roll the damage on that, or should I do it?
Uh, let's see here.
Anyone that starts their turn in it takes 2d6 cold damage, and then if you end their turn in it, you have to make a dex saving throw or take 2d6 acid damage.
Okay. I can roll that.
Okay.
And Brown, I put in Discord what I found for that spell. It's about as canon as we'll get.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. So I can't see through that.
You cannot pierce the void with your eyes. Not
All
yet.
right. So, there's screaming, crying, moaning from the dark place. There's icy, slushy terrain that you can barely even see to. Ron has a hut.
Hey, we have a dome, motherfucker. We're safe.
Are we within 30 feet of all this?
Depends on where you'd like to be. Where's Ron setting up the dome?
I would say wherever we collectively decided to be.
Where would you collectively decide to be? Probably within range of your spells, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, my spell range is 150 feet. It just, if we were in 30 feet from my spell,
Okay.
you'd be able to hear the slurping sound.
My spell range is also 150 feet.
Alright,
So
you're essentially right at the cusp of the circle that's been drawn out with the boulders.
Oh,
And
Okay.
so, yeah, almost at the same time, the two spells erupt, the dome forms, and you see a number of the forms kind of turn and just begin trying to look around and see what could be assaulting them. A couple of them do hone in on the dome that doesn't seem to have been there before. All the while still muttering under their breath, Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter.
And while they're watching it, it actually goes from black to just like sky-colored dark gray.
Okay.
Because about that time is when Yoan said, "Hey, you should make it gray, not black." So, I will make it gray.
Okay.
it just kind of blends in with its background.
Yeah. I think I can make it like technically see-through. I'm not sure. It's
You
opaque
could if
from
you'd
the
like.
outside.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Okay, never mind.
And
I
it's
thought
not
it was...
see-through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll just make it gray.
All right. So.
Like, use that paint thing where it'll tell you exactly what color the sky is. And
Yes. The
fill
eyedropper
the
in
dome.
MS Paint.
Yeah.
I pull out my Windows tablet, take a picture of the sky, go into MS Paint, and get the eyedropper and figure out exactly what the color is and make my hut that color.
It all runs on hex code.
And then I put, Then I put the tablet back in my pocket and look at everybody and go, what? I needed to know what color that was. Sponsored by Microsoft. No, I'm kidding.
You wish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
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 I feel like it's your move, Eric.
It is. I'm doing something right now.
Are those screams dying down?
So as they look around and you see the vision kind of settle on the dome. They look, but they don't seem to do anything. They kind of stand in the icy, slushy terrain and attempt to maintain their balance, which most of them do. You do see two of them lose their footing momentarily, but even as they fall down to the ground, they continue muttering, chanting under their breath, Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter. And that's all they're going to do.
We rolling initiative?
There's a lot of these fuckers, and let's just keep this rolling the way it is. Well, I guess for the sake of determining broad strokes. Go ahead and put in an initiative roll. Let's do it from your character sheets.
I mean, when I did it with lots of people, I ended up just playing like, well, if it was 12, I'd probably just split them into groups of 3 and just number them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Did you get my 18?
Yeah.
Okay.
That nat 19 though.
Okay.
I'm sorry,
So
Scanlan, I don't know your troubles. He's always rolling like 10 to 5. I've never done
But
that.
isn't
Yeah, man,
Pike
Pike.
always lower?
Yeah.
Just about, yeah.
all right.
Like Maya.
Duly noted on the initiative thing. So, Ron, what are you doing?
Are they still inside the dome, or did they go outside?
The circle, you mean?
No,
Or
my dome.
your friends.
Yes, sorry. Johan and Melkar.
I'll stay in the dome until I need to cast something.
Okay, well, I'm just going to say you guys can go out and come back in. They just can't get in. So we could literally stand here and stab the shit out of them with daggers.
Yeah, couldn't we just poke out of it?
Yeah, we literally can. Any object in the dome can go out and come back in. So if you have like a sword, you can just sit there and stab it out of the dome.
Yeah, except none of them are within reach.
I know that, but I'm just saying.
If it gets to that point. We
Anyway,
can survive for 8 hours.
So that's my action. My bonus action is I'm going to reach over and touch Yoan and say, Yoan, you got this. You've got this. And I'm going to inspire Yoan.
Okay.
And then I'll have my turn.
All right. So then that brings us to Yoan.
How close is the nearest one? Can I even tell based on my memory?
The closest one would probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of 70 to 80 feet.
Okay.
Oh. Shit happens when I copy my macros and then don't update them for these characters.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Oh, nothing.
Good.
I guess. Can I cast Moonbeam?
Yes.
On him? So
Mhm.
nothing happens until his turn. Either on that.
Right.
Are you looking at like a map? Like a player map? Or
Oh
something?
wait, I'm not casting Moonbeam. I lied.
Okay.
Rip. Oh, double concentration.
Yeah.
What's shitty is I can do another concentration spell. I just don't have anything.
Far enough. I don't have anything that reaches them.
Well,
Oh
get out of the
my.
bubble. You can beat them back.
I mean, I'd like, it's, what, 70 feet away?
Thereabouts.
Okay. I guess I will cast. I will head out of the bubble, run 10 feet, cast Ice Knife, and run back.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. The ice knife launches in the general direction that you think this person was in. You do hear some sort of impact and a cry of pain as you then hear a pfft as the knife shatters. You do once again hear a single solitary cry of pain. and you think there's a wet thump or splash.
Success. Okay.
All right. That brings us to these peoples. We're going to continue standing around, shivering a bit, and shuffling to maintain balance.
I want them all to fall down at once.
As the two who had fallen before have just finished making their way back up, another one you can hear just kind of slip and hit on the ground. Um, let's see. Those of you who can see through the heavily obscured area, you do see a number of these humans and humanoid things come running out of the void that had suddenly appeared in the middle of the circle.
Dex is that high? That's ridiculous.
Oh, there's. I don't know if you saw, but it is difficult terrain in there.
What was that?
It is difficult terrain inside the void area.
I did see that, yes.
Okay.
I mean, everything covered in ice is difficult terrain. Your void is also difficult terrain. But I have a spell save DC of 15, and they're not falling.
Well, they rolled pretty high.
Mine's 15 as well.
Okay. All right. So, again, they just continue chanting Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter. Not even bothering to address the dome that seems to have appeared at the cusp of their circle. So, that brings us to Melkar. What are you doing?
Said some of them look like they're shivering.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a step out of the bubble, and I'll just shout out. Looks like you could use a warming up, and I just shoot out a firebolt. That damage was amazing.
And the firebolt immediately goes out because of the sleet.
That is an interesting little conflict, because typically magical fire can withstand things like water, but if it's magical water against magical fire,
They're both magical, neither one wins.
It says exposed flames in the area.
But a fire bolt, I would think that's like magical fire.
Is it a flame that is exposed?
I think it's more of like a bolt of... I don't know, it's like a bolt of magical fire. It's, I don't know.
It's a flame that is exposed.
I would say in this case, since it's magical thing against magical thing, the thing that would normally win in a non-magical scenario would probably win out. And so, yeah, it sort of dissipates as it begins to penetrate the area in which the storm is just dumping down at this point on the circle.
Fine, I probably would have missed anyways.
You done missed.
Alright. See.
Wait, could I have rolled extra damage with my inspiration? Or is it only on...
No, it's just to hit.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Just wanted to double check.
But you got 10 minutes to use it.
So Ron, what are you doing?
I have another conundrum for you.
Mhm.
I'm going to reach down at the very edge of my bubble. I'm going to cast Fairy Fire right there. And have it be in front of me. So that, like, anything
Okay.
that runs up will... be in it, but we are
So,
not.
to clarify, by in front of you, you mean just outside the
No,
dome?
it's I have to cast it. I'm gonna have to cast it within the dome because I can't cast thing like if I cast something, it can't be cast outside. But Fairy Fire being an AOE, would it still work around the outside?
Let's see. It says they cannot extend through the dome. So I would say no.
Okay, then I will not do that.
Okay.
I will just sit and I will just hold my turn for now until one of them runs up and I might stab it.
Okay. Yoan, what are you doing?
Do I know of any other thing that is within 75 feet of my remembrance?
There might have been one, kind of just on the cusp of your range.
I'm gonna run out to 15 feet.
Okay.
Cast Ice Knife. Take my whatever it is. What is it? A D6?
D8.
It's a D8.
Yes.
Take my 12 and hope I hit.
Alright, so you, again, just hurl an ice knife into the heavily obscured area. You hear an impact, but you don't hear the subsequent cry of pain that you heard before. You then hear it shatter, seemingly not having quite caught anything.
So nothing's there? How rude.
And you are returning to cover, I assume?
Yep.
Okay. So, those of you who can see, you notice the humanoid figures all beginning to kind of clamber toward the center of the circle, toward the woven statue. Most of them still on their feet, kind of gliding across the ice. A few of them stumbling, slipping, kind of bear crawling their way across the ice, all trying to converge at the statue that stands directly in the center. All of them still muttering, Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter. And that's going to be it for their turn.
So they're all around the circle or the statue.
How big is this statue around?
Wait. I want to finish my turn. As a bonus action, I want to ask if I should drop my sleep to those two.
If they're not in it, go ahead.
Yeah, if they're out, let's drop it.
Like, they're in it.
Yeah, they're running like closer to the center of it, actually.
Yeah.
Oh. I can see just fine to cast my stuff.
Wait, so they want to be in the ice?
Well, it would appear they want to be in the area of the statue.
Okay. And how big around is the statue?
Total, like, the way it stands and everything takes up about a 50 by 50 area.
Oh, Jesus. Okay. Thing's fucking huge.
At least the majority of a 50 by 50 area. Probably like 20 to 30 feet wide, standing 50, maybe 60 feet tall.
Okay.
Yeah, if you wanna end it, go right ahead.
What?
He said if I want to end it, I can.
I'm cool with it. Whatever.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah. So then, Melkar, what are you doing?
How many of them do you think I could get based on their current locations with 40-foot radius?
The 40-foot radius. At this point, you might be able to catch 4 or so.
I'll save it. I'll just Eldritch Blast from a distance.
Okay. All right, and yeah, you do manage to hit one, and he kind of teeters a bit on his feet. The terrain still being a bit slippery and wet and everything, and he manages to catch himself and keep running toward the center. But you have hit him squarely.
I'll end my turn.
Okay, Ron.
So they're all just completely running towards the center.
Yeah.
And this thing is at its base. You said it's like 50 by 50.
Uh, Looking at it on say a map, it takes up a 50 by 50 space, but probably from a practical standpoint, 25 to 30 feet around the base.
Okay. Are there any that have made it to the statue?
Not yet.
Are there any close?
There might be a couple within 20 feet or so.
All right. I'm gonna hold my turn until they get within. I would say, start getting within 5 to 10 feet, and then I would like to drop a shatter right in
Okay.
the like basically between them and the statue. So I want to hit the statue with my shatter as well.
Okay. All right. So, duly noted. In the meantime, Yoan.
And I'm also popping my bubble
Okay.
because I have to get out of it to cast that.
Yep.
Okay, you said okay. The statue thing's 20 by 20, right?
Yeah, that would be like every dimension except vertical.
Okay, so it's 20 radius or 20 diameter.
20 diameter.
Okay. And they're all converging towards it?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to drop my Sleet Storm and cast Spike Growth right on the center of the statue thing,
Okay.
so that it sticks out 20 feet on each side, 10 feet on each side.
Gotcha. Okay. So yeah, a number of spiky, gnarled-looking plants just begin to grow up and encircle the statue and the area surrounding it. Anything else you would like to do?
I guess start heading towards them. Not 30 feet.
Okay. So yeah, you take off toward the circle, just about reaching the cusp of it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, since I dropped Sleet Storm at the same time as I growth, it says that the any creature that can't see the area at the time the spell is cast must make a wisdom check against your spell save DC to recognize the terrain as hazardous before entering it. Since my sleet storm's 40 feet tall, would the sleet still be hiding the ground by the time the spell was cast, that they couldn't actually see the ground?
I will make a modified check for that. Okay. Yeah.
That was a difficult question. Okay.
Cool. And so that is it for Yoan then.
Yep.
Alright. So the humanoids that are conducting this ritual continue sprinting full on toward the statue, trampling through the thorny overgrowth. And at this point, as they're all closing in, Ron drops his shatter spell on the area. And you see a number of them sustain some serious looking damage as well. A few of them do fall. A number of them do make it to the statue. At which point they all just begin to, almost with reckless abandon, just thrust their arms into the woven twigs, despite all the branches and like little bumps and thorns and things that remain. And you just see them like tearing up their arms as they reach into the statue, and all nearly simultaneously just wrench their arms back out. All of them just torn up and bloody at this point. Still chanting Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter, Wintersplinter. Some of them bringing it all the way up to a yell as they sort of cry out in anguish as some of the flesh is just ripped from their arms.
I want to laugh maniacally as I see this.
You see a bright green glow begin to emanate from right around where the heart of the statue would be. And you hear twisting and snapping and crunching, very similar to the sounds you heard as the small blight creatures had made their way across the vineyard. It gets louder, turns from the snapping of twigs to the crackling and near breaking of branches, as you could swear the dirt packed inside of the statue begins to coalesce into some foreign form, and maybe even move, straining a bit against the twigs and branches that have been woven together to form its casing. Melkar, what are you doing?
Noticing shit's hitting the fan, I want to recast that onto the statue itself, centered on the statue.
Like on its
Okay.
base? Or...
What was that?
Oh, I was saying like at its base.
Like, it's gonna be in the dead center.
Centered, yeah, at the same spot my spike growth is. So it pretty much hits anything that's still alive.
Okay.
Including the statue itself, if it happens to be alive.
Yep.
Okay.
You and your pickled octopus tentacle.
Okay.
Geez, yeah, I just guess I'm gonna do that, and that's only. I'm staying back.
Alright. Okay. Pull this thing out. Okay.
Dramatic ending.
Yep.
I'm not sure if it was the ending or not, but it sounded like it.
The beginning of the end for us.
We got this.
Yeah.
All right. So Ron, what are you doing?
I, seeing this thing move, am going to recast Shatter centered on this thing's base and try to blow the fucking base to shit and send the thing falling over.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll just do it at this level. And hitting anybody
Okay.
I can, but
All right. And yeah, over these last few spells, a couple more of the um, humanoids have, been taken out kind of in the crossfire here. Um, probably down to only maybe 4 or 5 of them still standing at this point.
yeah, I'm more
Um,
trying to take out the statue.
Okay. Yeah, so there's just this pulse of energy as the spell impacts, and yeah, you seem to have inflicted some damage.
And just so you know that if it's stone, crystal, metal, basically inorganic material, it's disadvantage.
Okay.
So.
It looks pretty organic to me.
All right. Cool. So, Yoan, what are you doing?
Okay, how many did you say were up?
Probably 4 or 5 still.
How far away am I from the closest one?
Well, if you're still at the outskirts of the circle, that would put you just over 120 feet.
This thing. Being as I'm a druid, would I be able to know what it constitutes as? Like, is it a creature, a plant?
Go ahead and make a nature check. Okay. As you see the thing kind of still forming within its frame, it appears to be another larger form of the kind of creatures that you've seen already. Looks to be a tree blight, which is classified as a plant.
Okay. Um. Okay. I'm gonna cast Speak with Plants.
Okay.
And I'm gonna try and talk to it.
All right. As it's still kind of coalescing, you're attempting to address the thing.
Yeah.
Okay. What would you like to say?
Um. What are you doing?
As it's still forming, it at this particular point doesn't quite seem able to formulate that kind of thought yet. So there is no response.
I will ask him to not move politely.
Okay.
Can you please just stand where you are? Thank you.
All right. So that will bring us to the humanoids and then the creature. So the humanoids, one of the rather ragged-looking druids that still stands conscious at the base of the statue, utters something in a crude, guttural version of what you know to be the druidic language, very similar to what the druid who had wielded the Golthius staff at the winery spoke. And it's hard to make out word for word, but essentially it seems as though he's commanding this tree blight to march north and destroy the building that he finds there.
Is that where the winery is?
That is where the winery is.
How rude.
But why is the wine gone?
Why is the wine always gone? How rude.
There is a flash of green from the tree blight's eyes as it breaks out of the wooden frame that held its still coalescing form together, and it begins to stride in your direction as you've just come from the north.
But it takes 2d4 damage every step it takes.
Duly noted.
And gets slurped upon by tentacles.
Yeah, difficult terrain. Wait, can it even see, or is it tall enough to be outside of the 20 feet?
It's tall enough.
Oh, damn it.
This thing stands, now that it's like broken out of its casing and you can see its true form, it looks to stand about 30-35 feet tall.
Oh, jeez. We had to piss it off.
I asked it politely not to move.
Alright. So, yes, even as it strides through taking that damage, it proceeds in your direction. It closes probably just over half the distance to Yowen, as it just begins to take these long, sweeping strides over the land off to fulfill its objective.
As a reaction, can I address it? Because it didn't listen to me.
Sure.
Can I ask him why it's taking orders from them?
It just replies in this kind of groaning, gravelly voice. They are my masters.
Do they need to be your masters?
No response.
Okay.
Alright. So that brings us to Melkar. What are you doing?
Are there any of the druids alive left besides Yowen?
Besides Yowen? Yeah, at this point, as the tree blight was kind of making its way out of the circle of stones, the remaining druids, apart from the one that issued the command, had kind of been clawing their way out to the fringes of the thorny area. But yeah, there's probably about 4, many of them looking to be in pretty rough shape.
I wanna... Let's try another firebolt on one of them and finish them off. Or not.
It's certainly try.
I'm gonna use all my movement from there to run away.
Alright. I assume that ends your turn.
Yeah.
All right, Ron, what are you doing?
It's coming straight for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to start heading away from it and say, I think the seed is in its chest. So attack there, and I'm going to follow that up with an Eldritch Blast to the chest.
Okay.
Hot damn.
Right where that green thing was.
All right. And yeah, as you call that out and then blast it yourself, you do see a bit of the exterior bark chip away, and there's a faint greenish glow emanating from beneath the pale internal, like interior wood that you've revealed.
Okay. Am I within, I think it's 30 feet?
Of
Eowyn.
probably right around that distance. Yeah.
Alright, I'm going to say, Eowyn, you got this. Finish it off. And inspire Eowyn.
Okay.
And that will end my turn.
All
I'm the
right.
one needing it.
What?
I said I'm the one needing it.
You're running away.
Hiding motherfucker.
So, Yoan, what are you doing with this thing barreling down towards you?
Are any of the druids still up?
Yeah, it would appear that, well, yeah, you still got 4, many of them barely standing.
Okay. Well, so possibly if they leave that position, they die. How far away is the nearest one from me?
About 100 feet.
Okay. I am going to tell the creature as a bonus action, tell the creature that if you continue moving towards the building, I can't let you do that. We'll have to stop you, and I'm gonna hold my action until it moves.
All right. Anything else you'd like to do before your turn is up?
Where is Melkar and Ron in relation to me?
So you are the closest one to the blight as it's bearing down on you. We'll probably reach you within the next 6 seconds or so.
If I back up 30 feet, will it reach me?
Probably not.
I'm gonna back up 30 feet.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So as you back up a bit, the blight continues on with its large, thumping, sweeping steps. You can actually feel the ground quake a little bit as it draws closer. It just kind of fixes its gaze on you for a moment, unflinching, unrelenting, just pushing on in your direction. The druids and whatever the other creatures are that are still standing have just kind of clamored their way out of the circle. One kind of, you see him not quite make it out and just sort of collapse in the field of thorns.
Were you even able to see them?
What?
Oh
What you
yeah,
call
his
it?
thing's still up.
Yeah.
The slappy slurp noises.
Yeah. Aurochs hunger or something.
Oh yeah. Size wise, let's see. The
It took up the same space as my thorns.
okay, so you can see one kind of like just barely kind of clear, face first coming out of the obscured thorny patch, but then just collapse. Um, Not quite making it out. The other ones barely able to do so, but they do pull their way out, and they're just sprawled out along the ground. It's almost hard to tell which ones are still alive and which ones are dead, but they seem to be pretty spent at this point. Um, but yeah, the tree blade just marches on, and that brings us to Malkar.
No?
Oh, yeah, you're gonna do your thing.
Yeah.
You're saving an action.
Okay. I am going to drop my concentration, cast Moonbeam on the light.
Okay.
How fast can it move?
Um, you gather that it's a smidge faster than you.
Okay.
All right. Hey, that's gonna be a thing.
Why is it rolling advantage?
I just automatically do that, and if it's not something with advantage, I just take the first one.
Okay.
Save myself from having to click through all that crap.
How rude. It only takes half my 13 for 6.
All right. So that then brings us to Malkar.
Said there was like a big, around let's say like a big piece, but like a spot on the chest that was kind of blown off from Ron's attack.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I will attempt to attack that same spot, focusing on the light green glow. I'll
Okay.
attempt to hit it with a firebolt.
All right.
No, I'm not.
You will attempt.
Oh, technically that Moonbeam attack happened on its turn, so
Yeah.
all the way around, yeah.
Wait, what happens with Moonbeam?
It happens on its turn, not on my turn.
Okay.
So technically it doesn't take that 6 points of damage until its turn.
Okay. Yeah, you shoot off a firebolt, and in your haste to retreat, it just kind of flies, veers off to the right, wide and harmlessly kind of dissipates as it just trails off in the distance.
All right. I'm gonna move another 30 feet back. So I got plenty of range.
Okay. And that's it.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
Ron. Oh,
oh wait. I want to cast the Shillelagh. Lose concentration on the Hunger of Hadar. Because it's a bonus action I can cast that with.
okay. So yeah, you utter a little something, and your staff begins to uh, glow, well, just faintly. All right. So then that will bring us to Ron.
Is this a creature?
Looks like a creature.
Okay. I'm suggesting that it stop where the fuck it is.
Okay. Let's see here. Okay, that is a wisdom save.
Indeed.
DC what?
16.
Alright, so as it is just marching forward, thump, 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 it stops.
All right. And then yeah, I'm just going to maintain concentration on it. And I'm gonna say, guys, don't damage it. It won't move. And then that will end my turn.
Too late. Don't know what to tell you, but when it starts its turn, it's getting damaged.
Fair enough, but whatever.
Alright. Yoan, what you doing?
Well, the moonbeam's already on it. I don't need to move that.
You can't cancel Moonbeam, can you?
I can, but I don't see why.
Because I said don't attack. It's whatever.
But at some point, we're gonna need to attack it.
Yeah, but we got 8 hours to figure out what the fuck this thing... Like, how to stop it.
Can destroy it.
We could also have somebody else come and attack it and beat the shit out of it while it's just standing there for 8 hours. As
So
long as
we
they're not our
can't attack it,
companions.
but someone else can attack it?
If you or any of your companions damage the target, the spell ends. It says nothing about anybody else doing anything to it.
But if we ask someone, aren't they our companion then? My turn is having this discussion.
Okay. So, a gentle reminder, phrasing is everything.
Okay.
Yoan has not dropped Moonbeam, first of all, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He hasn't convinced me.
Okay. So the Moonbeam remains, and chars a bit of the bark on the tree blight, and it immediately lurches forward and begins progressing toward its goal once again. Okay. It is just able to close on Yoan.
You dug your own grave.
I also want to move 30 feet back. Sorry, I guess part of my conversation. I'll walk towards Ron.
Well, I had kind of assumed that you were still moving. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So as it closes on Yoan, it is going to swing once and then twice with its arm-like appendages, just gnarled, twisted branches. That is going to be an 11 and a 14 to hit.
It's 14.
Can I cutting
Okay.
words that one? Like, am I within 60 feet?
Have you been running away or just kind of
No,
letting
I'm
the
just
action
kind
come
of
to you?
chilling there.
That's what I thought. So yeah, you're...
Wait. Now it's saying... Let me figure... Well, give me a second. I need to
AC issues?
my AC. Yeah. Needed my AC.
Fantastic.
So
Yeah, mine bugged too and was one lower than what it should have been.
Mine seems right.
so what do I add to my AC?
Uh,
My dexterity or my strength?
Dex.
Okay.
It's 10 plus dex, right?
Well, I didn't know if it was different because I'm a half elf.
No.
I realize I'm naked. I don't.
It's 14.
Okay.
Oh,
So
yeah.
yes, you managed to duck out of the way of the first swing.
And I will cutting words a second.
Yeah. Attack roll.
Can I roll a my inspiration to remove some of its points to attack me?
I don't think so, but that is effectively what Ron is doing here, using his cutting words.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't force somebody else to use it, but you can use it.
Yeah.
But yes,
Okay.
I'm cutting words. And I'm just going to
All
say,
right.
hey, I thought I told you to stop.
And yeah, you don't even need to roll, because even if you rolled a 1, it would be enough to lower the attack roll. So yeah, it pauses just long enough for Yoan to duck out of the way. Let's see. The blight then, kind of standing flat-footed for a moment, you then see a number of roots reach out and attempt to grab onto Yoan.
Oh.
Let's see. So, I need Yoan to make either an athletics or acrobatics check.
Athletics it is.
Okay. Alright. So, the first wave of roots reaches out and just like kind of slips off, nearly grabbing you, catching you by the ankle and upending you, but slipping off at just the last moment. The second wave of them does wrap around you, and you are unfortunately unable to quite squeeze out of that. And you are now grappled by this tree blight. And it is kind of suspending you up above the ground by a good 10 feet or so. It's holding you in its animated roots. And that will end Blight's turn.
My turn?
Yes.
I'm gonna yell in like a very high pitched voice while talking in primordial. Like, stop that! And I'm gonna attempt to
Oh,
hit it
wait,
with.
wait. I can add my inspiration to that, can't I?
You can!
Okay, that's a d8.
Yes, it is.
I'm gonna do that.
There
Okay,
you go.
21.
You somehow wiggle out.
Just enough. You just squeak out of its grasp and kind of plop down unharmed on the ground. That was exactly what you needed to roll.
It rolled pretty high.
Yes, it did. Okay, so does that change what Malkar's doing or no?
No, I'm still gonna scream in a squeaky voice in primordial.
Okay. So yeah, you firebolt it, and yeah, it impacts the thing's chest, burning away more of the wood, and you can even see a few unimpeded streams of light now beginning to emanate from the chest cavity of this thing. All right. Anything else? Oh,
Oh, sorry. I have a question. So, hearing him command the tree blight, he just said to destroy the building, right? He didn't mention attacking us.
that is correct.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else Malkar would like to do?
No, I'll stay here.
Okay. Ron.
Is the thing still like facing me?
Yes.
I'm gonna. Fuck it. I'm gonna shatter right on its chest area.
Okay. Let's see. Let's see. It makes it save, but you did a higher level cast there, so that was a total of 23 base damage,
Yep.
right? Okay. Alright. And yeah, there's another kind of magical just pulse that just emanates out from the spot right in front of the light's chest, and you see even more of the wood begin to kind of splinter away, and a few more speckles of light showing through the now sort of thin-wearing chest cavity. Although the entity itself, for all the damage it's taken to the chest, still seems to be in decent enough shape. Maybe about halfway spent.
Okay. Then I'm gonna point over at Malkar and say, Malkar, hit the fucking thing! And I'm gonna inspire him.
Okay.
And that will end my turn.
Yoan, what are you doing now that you're like face up with this thing?
I am going to move the moonbeam over to it.
Okay.
My action. I am going to move, I don't know, 30 feet west-east.
Alright, it will get an attack of opportunity on you.
That's okay.
Okay, so it is going to reach out again with its vines, or, well, roots. Go ahead and make either athletics or acrobatics check.
No.
And as you attempt to run away, it ensnares you, and you find yourself dangling by the ankle in front of this creature. Just below chest level on it. So you can kind of see the cracking underlying wood and the greenish light that's spilling out from its chest.
Okay. But I'm not, like, covering up that spot so they can still attack it?
They can still attack it, yes.
Okay. Can I take my bonus action to intimidate it? And say, I don't know how happy your masters will be for you disobeying orders and attacking us instead of going to the building.
Okay. Let's see. It does not seem swayed by your attempts. Alright. Plug my headset in real quick. It's dying on me.
Everyone's dying.
Everyone is dying. All the dying.
Actually, Eric, can I say I moved 30 feet away as well?
You what?
Can I say I moved 30 feet away? Like I ran in the direction of Malkar.
Okay.
away from the thing, just so I can try to stay in front of it.
All right.
My moonbeam is not touching me.
Well,
It is touching the creature, but not me.
yeah, the creature is large enough that it takes up like a 3 square by 3 square area, so that's manageable.
Oh,
All right. So that brings us to the Blight's turn.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. It takes 2d10. I'm gonna roll my damage.
Do it. All right.
That was low.
But it's damage adds up.
Did it make it?
What was your DC again?
15? Oh,
It
I guess I flat out could have just again. But yeah.
it did not make it.
Yay! So I did more damage this time.
All right. So as it holds you, it's gonna keep walking on toward its goal, but as it does so, as you're kind of dangling there, it is going to take a couple more swipes at you with its like branch-like arms. That is going to be, for some
I'm gonna
reason.
be evasive.
There we go. All right. That is. Holy shit!
oh no.
A 28 to hit.
Yeah. That's only, twice my DC. Or AC.
The next one's a 12 though, so at least there's that.
Was that a crit?
No.
Oh, damn it, high attack mod.
Yeah.
Is this thing like level 20?
You don't know. All right. So on that first attack, as it makes contact, you take 16 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
Let's see. It's just gonna keep walking on. Yeah, and that'll. Well, let's see. It will not quite close on the rest of the group, so you're safe for now. So Malkar, what are you doing?
I am going to attempt to try and hit it in the chest again with the firebolt.
Okay.
Did it look like it did a little extra damage because it's made of wood?
Strangely, it did not seem to do any extra damage. Maybe it's that whole magic on magic thing.
And then the Bardic Inspiration was
A D8.
that 7.
Alright, and yes, your firebolt does seem to find its mark, burn away a little bit more of that wood.
I'm gonna move another 30 feet back.
Alright. Okay. Ron, what are you doing?
I'm going to continue running with Malkar. I'm gonna look at Yoan and say, "Quit fucking around with the plant and hit it." And I'm gonna cast Eldritch Blast
been
on.
hitting it.
I'm
God.
gonna cast Eldritch Blast on the chest. And with that, can I use my last Bardic Inspiration to inspire Yoan by saying, "Quit fucking around and hit it"?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take your D8.
I'll take my D8 very unhappily. Because I am doing more damage than you are to it.
Motherfucker.
Okay.
Alright. And that's it for Ron?
Yes.
Okay. So Yoan, here you are, dangling upside down in the clutches of a tree blight. What are you doing?
Hmm. Can I
Nope.
work myself out of its grasp?
You can certainly try. Go ahead and make an athletics check.
Can I take my D8 on that?
You can.
20.
Alright. And as you're fighting and struggling, quite the struggle, but you are able to slip out.
Okay. Would that count as an action or a bonus action?
Yeah, that would probably be your action.
Okay. I'm on the ground now?
You are on the ground in front of a moving tree blight.
30 feet. East.
Okay, opportunity attack. Go ahead and make either acrobatics or athletics check. That one's better. Let's see how blight does.
All I can roll
30.
are, like, 21, 14, 14, 20, like, all sevens.
Alright, this time the blight seems to whiff with its roots as it tries to grab out towards you, and you are able to escape its immediate vicinity.
Okay.
It's about time.
Okay.
I still didn't hit it.
Alright,
Does your
and
moonbeam go off? Or was that on
What?
their turn? I said, does your moonbeam go off, or is that on its turn?
It's on its turn, but I didn't spend my action moving my moonbeam, so it's not on it anymore. That
Oh.
thing's stationary.
Yeah.
Rip.
It's an action to move it. So it's now, like, 40 feet behind it.
Indeed. Will that do it for Yoan's turn?
I... Can I want to try and persuade it to really think about its life choices and if it wants to have masters.
Okay, I was gonna say make it at disadvantage, but you know what? For you...
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it just keeps striding along.
I tried. I get a star for that, right?
Mm-hmm. Sure. Alright. That will then bring us to the Blight's turn. And it follows... it tracks Yoan as it swings, and he just barely manages to escape its clutches. And almost looks as though it pauses for a second, but then continues on to the northeast along the path. So, out of curiosity, between Malkar and Ron, who would you say was the furthest along?
I am.
Yeah, Malkar is.
I ran like 120 feet by now. From the dome, wherever that originally was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm 2 full movements.
Yeah, okay. So, yes, it is able to then catch up with Ron, close the distance, and make a series of attacks. So, first it swings with its branches.
Mm-hmm.
That is a pair of 11s to hit.
No. No. I nimbly dodge out of the way, and then the second one I accidentally dropped something and bent over to pick it up, and it swings and misses.
It then lashes out with its roots that you had seen it grab Yoan with. I need you to make, well, for starters, let's go with one acrobatics or athletics check.
Okay.
You are snagged. It catches you fully around the trunk of your body and just kind of like raises you up, just about to eye level with it.
Hello.
Raise you up for erudition.
Gonna gobble you up.
That's fine.
All right. So that's gonna. Oh, wait a minute. It can now do something because reasons.
Of course. And this is where Ron dies.
It as it's still striding along the path, it looks squarely at Ron and opens its big wooden mouth, attempting to stuff him inside of it.
Oh, I was just guessing when it says gonna gobble them up.
That is a 17 to hit.
That will hit.
Okay, so
I'm
as you
swallowed.
are as you are stuffed into this thing's spiky wooden gullet, you take 24 points of piercing damage.
All right. You said 24?
24.
All right. Okay. And I am now eaten.
You're kind of like halfway in. You're like dangling out of its. Still grappled. It's like chewing on you, sort of.
That's fine. Okay.
That's fine.
I've been in worse.
All right. That'll do it for the Blight's turn. Malkar, what are you gonna do?
In that same high-pitched primordial voice, we're like, spit him out! And try and firebolt them. Come on, just roll.
All right, and you launch a firebolt and just kind of dissipates against the rough exterior bark of the thing. Doesn't seem to have done any damage.
I'm gonna take my 30 feet of movement and go to the side, try to get it out of its way.
Okay. Duly noted. And that's it?
Yeah, that's all I got.
Okay. Ron,
All
you
right.
are grappled and being chewed on.
Yep. As soon as I'm in its mouth, I'm gonna say, "Oh, you fucked up." I'm gonna start whispering to it. I'm gonna cast Dissonant Whisper.
Okay. Wisdom save, yeah?
Yep.
Psychic damage to a fucking tree.
Hey, it's a sentient being, creature.
What's your DC?
16?
It does not make it save.
Oh, okay, so this is where it gets interesting, because now it's a fucking afraid of me and has to move away from me. But I'm in its mouth, so what the fuck happens?
It's not sentient, it's sapient.
Well, whatever. It thinks. It knows enough to be able to think.
I'm just amazed they have a special word for that. It's used in my Speak Plant spell.
But yes.
Okay. So first, let's deal with this damage. That's 3d6.
Oh, right, I gotta roll that.
Roll that.
Yep.
All right. And so, yeah, you can feel the thing's jaws kind of clench up a little bit. Maybe not the most opportune place to have done that, but you know, you don't take any more damage.
Yeah.
So, thinking from a purely mechanical standpoint, and well, a purely logical standpoint from this thing's perspective, it wants to get as far away from you as possible. Yeah,
Yep. So it's gonna spit me out and throw me, probably, right?
pretty much.
I figured it'd spit me out and drop me. But
You're gonna
But
throw him
run.
like 100 feet.
that's fine. I can deal with that. I'm not in its mouth. That was good.
Gonna throw you like a football.
Well, but it's also going to run the opposite fucking direction because it has to move away from me.
So
See, but if it has to move away from him, it's if he throws him, it's him moving away from it.
Yeah, actually, technically that would be true. And it has to, let's see, it has to use its reaction if available to move as far as its speed allows away from me.
there are some situations that can't quite be accounted for when
Fair
they
enough.
write these rules.
Like being inside of a fucking of the mouth. All right, I mean, I'm okay with this.
Just wanted to say semantically.
Yeah, but it seems like the most logical thing that this creature would do. Do you not agree?
Can I just, as a reaction, try to persuade it to not throw him?
Well, okay. It takes its reaction first because it's reacting to the Dissonant Whisper spell. So at that point, it would probably be too late for you to do anything. So
When it goes to throw it, can I try and persuade him to throw him to the north?
It's gonna throw me the direction that it's facing. Like, it just spit me out and throw me the direction it's facing, which is to...
The north?
It's
East.
to... Wherever... No, it's to the
It was walking northeast.
winery.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll throw me that direction and have to go the other direction.
Obey its masters and throw you south. Go to the winery.
So, let's see.
Well, just let it fucking throw me. Just somebody heal my ass when I fucking go down.
Good luck with that.
It plucks you from its mouth and essentially spikes you down onto the ground
Okay, that's...
as it runs.
Yep, I'm okay with that. Which way does it run?
Same way it's been going. It kind of like tosses you down, kind of like behind off to the side.
Okay, so it like spits me out and just kind of drops me.
And runs towards Melkar.
Yep. Okay. I'm okay with this.
How much damage does he take from that fall?
Funny you should ask.
1
Uh,
damage.
Let's see here.
Can
it
I
was like
dex check
5
to
feet tall.
land?
Yeah, you can do that.
Dex check or dex save?
Dex save.
I'm fairly dexterous.
Okay. So yeah, I would say you are able to cushion probably, give or take half of the impact. Let's see. You were about eye level with it, well, mouth level with it, really. So
Football spiked.
after being reduced, you take a total of 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground.
All right.
But you are still standing. You managed to hit the ground and like superhero landing despite being spiked like a football.
Yeah, I was gonna say I hit and bounce, and you just see I'm looking a little rough. But yes, the 3-point landing, and I just kind of stand up and go, "Ow!" and turn around and face the thing and get ready.
All right, and at this point, it is just hauling ass away from you. It gets even more movement now because, well, it has to.
Was that my movement, or can I like chase after it?
No, you haven't used your movement. You just used your action. So.
All right, I'm gonna chase after it as best I
Okay.
can.
All right.
And that will end my turn.
Okay.
That turned out way better than I thought.
Yoan, what are you doing? It is now roughly north of you.
Heading which direction?
Like, still northeast.
How far north from me?
Let's see. That would be about 20, 25 feet.
And how far away is my moonbeam?
So it was 40 from where the blight last was, and then so it's. Are you asking how far it is from the blight now?
Yeah,
It is 80 feet away from the blight.
that sucks. Uh, okay. I'm gonna cast this.
You casted a DC 15 Wisdom save.
That's all it says.
I know. I want to see if it passes.
just out of curiosity. Okay. Let's see.
Because it's worthless if it doesn't.
But so hypothetically, if it were to have rolled a 5 total,
There. Sorry, I had to change it to a spell card.
If it were to roll a 5. Oh. What's really great is 90% of my spells require wisdom saves.
okay.
Wait.
Interesting. Okay.
So it has to spend all its time running really slowly.
Wow. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then, anything else you would like to do?
Holy fuck.
It's a level 3 spell. It
That's-
better do something. I am going to move so that I'm 45 feet at a right angle to its direction that it is going.
45. Okay. So, I'm not sure what you mean.
Like, if it's here and it's going this way.
1 second. I'm not on that map. So, okay. Try that again.
Okay, it's here. Big circle thing. And it's going that direction.
Yeah.
Right angle.
Yeah.
I'm 45
Oh, okay. So you gotcha.
feet here.
Gotcha. Okay. Easily enough to do. Easily enough done. Words.
You would do math.
It makes... If it can only move 40 feet, I'm... Oh, 50 feet. I lied. I'm gonna be 50. That way it's not within melee range. That's 50.
Looks like 90 to me. It looks like go.
Alright, so it being going like northeast-ish, you're essentially going to end up going southeast.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
She just likes drawing those.
You are giving it quite the wide berth.
That's okay. It's slow.
It is.
Actually, wait. It's slow. I'll stay 6 feet away.
Okay.
I'm not caught in that, am I?
Yoan can choose.
Yeah. I choose up to 6 creatures. So
Yeah.
I chose 1.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oops. Oh, that's beautiful. Oops. I don't know how to get rid of these.
You click the arrow, and then click on them and hit delete.
My turn?
The creature, Blight, is going to continue trudging on, albeit considerably slower.
Where's delete?
The button on the keyboard.
Oh. But if I don't have a keyboard?
Get good.
You need a keyboard to get to roll 20.
That's what you say.
You need a keyboard to log in.
Voice command.
Anyway, the Blight continues marching on toward its goal. And that's it.
That's an eye. Trying to erase the eye.
Melkar, what are you doing?
Gonna keep pegging away at this thing, or trying to. Woo!
All right. So now, kind of firing off at its blind side, you manage to hit it squarely in the back, and just there's a blast of.
Wait, it's behind me? Or
No. You're effectively behind it now. It continued on its way. You decided you were going to veer off its course, so it ran. It continued on its path, and you branched off, so it kind of passed by.
okay?
Or it's right now it is passing by. But either way, you're kind of firing at its side back area.
Alright, I'll just try and I'll stay off to the side, but try and stay ahead of it. Keep attacking.
Okay. Yeah, you can't quite keep pace with it, but you're not fully behind it yet either. So, slowly losing ground. But yeah, it's starting to look pretty rough.
Alright. I'll just recast Shillelagh to
All right.
extend the duration it lasts.
Okay. Ron, what are you doing?
Well, I'm chasing behind it. I am looking kind of rough, but this thing's looking rough. I'm just gonna go ahead and cast Eldritch Blast at it.
Yeah, you blasted. It doesn't really seem to have any effect though.
Yeah. I'm still gonna keep chasing,
Okay.
and I'm not gonna get within melee range, but I am gonna just stay behind it and keep trying to plug away at it.
All right. Well, now that it's slowed down, you can pretty much stay just without, just outside of melee range, and really keep pace with it pretty easily.
Yeah, I just don't want to get in melee range. So, and that will end my turn.
All right. Yoan.
Okay. So I am going to, I guess, keep following it along my track, and which puts me 50-ish feet away from.
Yeah.
So I am going to cast. Cast ice.
Okay. So you throw the ice knife, and it seems to chip away at the bark a little bit.
Aiming towards the green thing.
Okay.
Provided I can see it. I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean,
From its back.
if you, okay, yeah, you can try to chip away at the back and get at it that way, I guess.
I mean, I'm not in front of it, am I?
No, you're not.
Yeah. So it would have to be from the back.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the initial impact strikes true, and then deck save does not make it save. Oh, all right. Yeah, this thing is looking pretty ragged. There are like massive swaths of green light kind of just emanating from its chest cavity, both the front and the back now. It seems like it's barely able to hold itself together. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So the blight is going to just continue struggling on, trying to get to the winery and achieve its goal. Melkar, what are you doing?
It didn't beat the slow. Make a wisdom saving throw at the end of its turn.
All right. Still seems to be moving pretty slowly.
Yeah, I mean, it would take effect its next turn. So.
Yeah. And that is a whiff on the firebolt, so it just kind of detonates against the side of the thing, not really breaking bark.
Gosh, I even lower its AC for you.
My turn?
If Melkar is done.
I keep trying to move further ahead.
Okay. Yeah, and as you're, obviously you're gaining ground on it now. It's slowed. Yeah. Okay. So now, Ron, what are you doing?
Nope.
Thump against the back of it, not really doing anything.
Okay. That's it.
Yoan.
To do everything around here. I guess I'll cast Ice Knife again.
Guess what?
Ice Knife again.
Oh. Come on, 10. Yeah!
Really?
Fucking bunch of 10.
What is wrong with you?
Yes! That's amazing.
See what you've caused? You caused me to roll all 10s.
Be careful what you wish for.
Did you... I don't have a thing from you, do I? An inspiration?
Triple trifecta.
Oh, that's 5 of them.
So yeah, the initial the flinging of the knife misses, detonates around the thing's feet, and it doesn't seem to be in any shape to be evading things. So it does at least take the full brunt of the shrapnel damage.
Oh, I still did 10 damage.
And this thing is falling apart as it walks through the woods. Still standing. Barely. Anything else from Yoan?
Nope.
All right. It keeps trudging along, and you can see it seemingly pick up a little bit of speed as it, well, just starting to kind of shake off the slow effect. Malkar, what are you doing?
Um, part of my constant missing. I'm gonna try and cast the 2 Eldritch Blasts.
Uh-huh.
That apparently didn't cast anything at all.
He casts nothing.
You missed casting.
What the heck happened?
Yep.
I clicked it.
Try clicking again.
That's a miss again.
It's not casting.
Mine
it
did that
say-
too.
Yeah.
Before it was just not set. It was set as a spell card, not as a roll.
But even a spell card should output something.
Not if you don't put anything in it.
It's true, if there's nothing in the description.
There's a description.
It's your Eldritch Blast, you said?
Yeah.
Mine set out output as an attack.
Mine is 2.
Do it manually?
Oh, I guess it's D20 plus 7
7?
modifier, attack modifier. Okay,
That's
well,
a 10.
that 10 for the first one, and a 20 for the second one, and it's a
Okay.
D damage. Woo!
That's for the first one that whiffed.
No, I would say since you're actually doing this, you're manually rolling. You just take the first one. You know not to roll damage for the first one. Okay, so first attack just kind of dissipates against the side of the thing. Second one, Melkar reaches out and, probably half expecting to miss this one as well, just fires off a blast of energy that seems to really pierce through the exterior of the tree blight. Malkar, how do you want to do this?
Gonna be like one of the guards in Elder Scrolls Oblivion. Just scream out, "Why won't you die?" and then blow it up.
All right, and so there's just this eruption of splintering wood and greenish light that just explodes out from the core of this thing. It immediately slumps and, almost in 2 separate pieces, collapses to the grassy, leaf-covered ground. And you see the greenish gem that had been set into its chest sort of just bounce across the forest floor, kind of spinning to a halt atop a tree stump.
I wanna go get it.
Still glowing. Okay.
At this point, I mentioned that maybe we should go back and finish off the rest of the druids. Not all were dead when we left.
I want the seed. I go for the seed.
That was
Malkar
my
already
turn.
grabbed it.
He did already call that he got it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know how
Yeah.
far it went. Okay, fine. I'll go back to the. I'll start making my way back up the hill.
Okay, so you're returning back to the druid circle and those crazy peoples.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna go loot their shit. See what they got.
Make sure they're
Some-
all dead.
Yeah. Well, I don't care if they're dead or not. I just want their shit. And I'm dashing and all that.
Okay. Yeah. So for the sake of
So am
abridging
I.
things, yeah. Malkar, are you going back too?
After I got the seed.
Okay. So yeah, you all make your way back to the clearing with the large hill. Um, Following the path back up the circle of black, almost slimy-looking stones. Um, the rain of lightning has seemingly settled. Um, there's just kind of a soggy, almost swampy enclosure of land here where there had been the constant downpour caused by Yoan's earlier spell. Amidst it, you see a number of mangled, bloodied, expired bodies, and you're approaching to loot and everything. Yeah.
I'm seeing if they're all dead.
Okay.
I know we left some live ones.
Do they
I thought
like
we
have
did.
a? Do they have a hut or anything up here?
Anyone who's looking for anything, make a perception check.
Persuasion check. Got it. That's a nat 20. Wow! I got the lowest and with a nat 20. That's a thing.
All right. So yeah, looking around, you see a number of things that, in the kind of crazed furor of battle, you hadn't quite noticed before. There are a number of what look to be holes around the perimeter of the stone circle, approximately 5 to 6 feet deep, 5 to 6 feet long, 5 to 6 feet wide. They are dug into the ground, revealing this almost bluish clay, which you now notice all of the dead bodies seem to be caked in. It would appear that all of the bodies here are in fact deceased, and
How many are there? I want to count them.
you find a total of 9 bodies here.
3 have escaped.
And
Or did
Can
they
I
get
try and
sucked
track
into the
them?
void?
Can things get sucked into the void?
Pretty sure.
Nelkar?
What's the thing I
Yeah.
laid down? No, it's just pitch black and they're blinded. And like it summons the void around them, but they don't get sucked into it. They just take damage.
Even if they die, they don't get sucked in.
No, they just take all the damage and difficult terrain and blinded.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. So no, 9 have disappeared. Can I... Should we track them right now?
Sure.
Good, isn't it like morning or afternoon?
Probably like midday. I mean, we should probably... They're probably not in very good shape. We should probably track them now while we can. Even if one of us wants to stay here and the other 2 want to go.
Yeah, I'll stay here and look around. I'm not feeling too hot anyway, as I'll cast Cure Wounds on myself.
okay.
I will spend this time to also cast Cure Wounds on myself.
All right.
I have half of my HP.
Oh wait, I
Guess
cast that
I'll,
second level. Second. There.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to cast it second level.
Yeah, it's all good.
10.
Yep.
I don't have any spells left. So someone wants to go with spells. Unlike me. I ain't got any.
You're tracking though.
Okay.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll
Can
stay
I
here.
try and
Look
track them?
Sure. Go ahead.
Survival
Would like to help.
Let's call that a survival check.
with advantage?
Yeah.
Lowest I can roll is 8.
the highest you can roll is a 27.
All right. So yeah, it is no challenge whatsoever to follow the footprints in the sopping wet ground in the stone circle out to an opening.
Does it look like there's 3 sets of footprints?
It does.
Okay.
They seem to lead out of an opening on the other side of the circle. And kind of along the hilltop, further in same general direction that you had been heading as you entered the clearing in the first place. As you reach the exterior of the stone circle, you can see kind of off in the distance, well, not too terribly far, about 250 feet away. There's a grove of what looks to be dead trees and shrubs with a huge misshapen tree at the very center of it. It looks as though there is some thick reddish fluid just oozing from the trunk of this thing. And kind of wandering around it, you see 6 kind of gangly looking humanoid figures covered in needles. And go ahead and make a perception check for me.
All of us?
Yeah. Alright. So that's all Yoan sees. Melkar, you notice, even from this vantage point, lodged in the trunk of this tree is
Wait, how many figures did we see?
about 6.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Embedded in the trunk of this tree, Malkar, you see a shiny battle axe, beneath which you can just barely make out the remains of a humanoid skeleton.
Is the battle axe like lodged to the tree?
Yeah.
I'm gonna point it out to Yoa because I'm not very strong.
Where
Save.
is this the tree they're around?
Yeah, the big, black, gnarly tree with reddish stuff leaking down its trunk.
Is it leaking down from the point? Like, does it look like it's bleeding from the axe?
It looks as though pretty much the entire trunk of this tree is just oozing out this reddish sap or whatever it is.
Has it been more than 10 minutes since I cast Speak with Plants?
Well, let's see. No, probably not.
Okay. Okay. Can I ask the tree why it's oozing sap?
Maybe. Can you put up the spell card for that again, just so I can
Yeah.
see any specific there might be?
Any specifics?
So you'd have to get within 30 feet.
Oh, how far away am I?
Right now you're 200 to 200 feet away.
Is it like an open area around that?
So you're kind of at the fringe of the circle of stone the ritual took place in. Extending in front of you is a path, continuation of the path that you took it in here. It seems to go on for about 150 feet, leading into this grove of dead and decrepit-looking trees and shrubs, at the center of which is the big, gnarly black tree, probably another 50 to 75 feet from the edge of the grove.
Is there anything I can hide behind inside the grove?
Dead trees.
Okay. Well,
I'm
can
gonna
I sneak to within 30 feet?
Yeah, roll a stealth check.
I'll follow suit.
Okay.
Oh.
Duly noted. Alright, so you creep your way up to the edge of the grove of trees, and peeking out from behind one of them, you can now see um, the even more humanoid plant creatures, very similar to things that you bought at the winery. Three of them be made of vines, six that look to be just masses of walking anthropomorphic needles, and 12 of the tiny twig blights that you fought in the basement, all kind of just shuffling around, um, almost looking for something.
How far away am I from the tree?
At this point, you'd be um, probably about 60 feet.
Okay. I wanna.
I'm gonna stop Yoan and hand him the seed.
I'll take the seat. A bit confused. I will look at you questioningly.
Just in case. Seems to be more of a druid thing. Maybe you'll figure out the use for it.
Okay. I take the seed thing, and I kind of, I guess, look at it and rack my brain for any way it could be of use to me right now.
Okay, make a nature check.
Damn!
Ooh.
All right.
What do I get for that?
You unlock the seed's full power. You become that
It's an
blight.
infinite stone.
It's not so much an application for right now as just kind of a recognition that this thing is essentially the antithesis of whatever is forming these light creatures. There's almost something about the seed that in your hand that seems to want to just escape this area.
Okay. I put it on a safe spot on me and whisper to Melkar that the seed doesn't want to be in this area. And say, do you think we can handle this right now?
The tree things?
The tree things, like the 12 little blights, the 3 big blights, and 6 druids.
Oh, probably not.
Okay, I'm gonna keep this place in my mind to remember where it is and sneak back to Ron.
Okay.
So, where I was, did they have anything set up, or is it just nothing?
Just a big circle of rocks.
If I search the people there, anything on them?
a number of small cloth satchels containing various twigs and herbs and berries and
Taking it.
okay, some small animal bones.
Yep, I'll
I
take
want-
any satchels I find.
Okay.
I'll probably need some of those ingredients.
Thinking
Love
thinking
them.
in the back of my head that Yoan said, "Yeah, I'll probably need some ingredients." I will
Yeah.
graciously take the bags to give to Yoan.
Because one of my spells, I need 7 sharpened twigs. Which I have. My spells have such easy ingredients to come across, it's ridiculous.
But yes, I pick up all the pouches and such. And any staff, weapon, anything at all.
Let's see. For that, go ahead and call it a perception check.
My nat 20 from before doesn't count.
No, because this is a specific search for something.
Okay.
All right. So, let's see here. You do find a kind of mid-sized coin purse to contain about 50 gold
Woo-hoo!
and a single gemstone, which, by your estimation, is probably worth about 50 gold in itself.
Okay.
And stashed away right next to that, you see 2 vials of a pinkish liquid.
Whew. Alright, I'll take those too.
Okay.
And I will put them in my bag for later.
All right.
The gemstone. Can I do an Arcana check, see if it's got any magical properties?
Sure. Nope.
Okay. I'll put that in my bag then too, and I will just kind of find the most comfortable looking rock that I can sit on and sit on it,
Okay.
and just kind of sit down for what I would hope to be like a short rest.
All right.
Probably not that long.
I know, but I can hope.
I'm assuming we get back there shortly.
Yeah, I mean, probably not more than 10 minutes.
I'll tell Ron what we saw.
I found a few things just poking around here. Found these, and I'll pull out the pinkish liquid vials. So anybody want to take a crack at what they are?
Do I know what they are?
Let's see. Best way for you to know that would probably be...
Proficient with an herbalism.
Okay.
Ooh, that actually might be good.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Bongos.
You have bongos.
A wisdom check with advantage, Yoan.
No, I'm proficient. Not only do I have bongos, I'm proficient in bongos.
9/11, never forget.
This looks really familiar, but you're not sure what it is.
Well, if you want, I can
Put my finger
identify
on.
it.
Yeah, sure. You want to identify one? I'll hand him one.
Ron, did you see any shields, perchance?
I did
Negative.
not.
Make what?
I said negative.
Yeah, I said I did not.
I want to start exploring the cairns that are like at the base of the wherever they were.
Okay.
Okay.
You want me to
Follow.
identify that seed as well?
How long does
I know
identify
what-
take?
I know what the seed is, so.
Oh,
And how long does your identify take?
10 minutes.
The
Well-
seed is kind of a growth accelerator.
Yeah, let's go back and deliver that and take a rest there back at the place. And then you should identify it.
Let me finish searching this place.
Yeah.
Okay. Search the Carns.
Okay.
Is that
I will
pronounce
aid
that?
her.
Karen.
Him.
Cairns.
Yeah.
I will
Karen.
aid him.
Yeah, like Karen, but without the eh.
Karen.
Okay. So making your way down the hill, off the path, you go and check out one of these cairns, and kind of inspecting it, maybe pushing a stone or two aside. Uh, you see what looks to be the handle of a weapon of some sort.
Can I pull it out without touching it? Like get a cloth and pull it out?
Yeah. So you could do that. So you kind of maneuver it so that you touch it but don't touch it. And yeah, you draw out from between the several stones of this cairn. Looks to be a pretty wicked-looking spear.
Can I do an Arcana check on it?
Sure. All right. So, what you can gather is this thing is quite old, and
Most definitely magical.
most definitely magical. The kind of the wraps and such that surround it and kind of serve as the grips are stained with blood. You're not sure how old, how long those stains have been there, but every inch of metal along this spear is entirely immaculate.
Okay.
This spear seems hungry.
Okay. I tell. Where are you, Malkar?
Oh, well, if not identifying anything at the moment, then I am following two of you.
I say to both of you not to touch until we identify this. Your hand.
Well, I have to touch it in order to identify it.
Yeah, but not unless you want to identify it right now.
I don't mind sitting here for 10 minutes.
Okay, let's identify this. But be careful, it's probably, and it seems
Can we just take a short rest then?
hungry?
And just have him identify everything?
Can you identify and take a short rest at the same time?
Technically, no.
Okay. I mean, we could take a short rest here. I guess. But, you know, we did see several druid things out there, so not finding us resting. So maybe we should head back and warn them that there are still more druids out there and to be prepared. Because we need to rest a little bit.
Alright, let's just take this back then.
And I cautiously carry it.
Okay. So you're going to return to the winery?
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah.
right. So you embark the, mile or so back through the woods, past the crumbled remains of tree blight Wintersplinter.
Is it, what is it like? Is it just made of bark and mud?
It, while it initially seemed to have been made of packed together earth, just dirt, it took on a purely wooden form. You don't see any remains that would suggest it was ever anything other than.
Okay. As we pass by, I want to try to grab some of the wood. Or, I guess, can I Arcana check and see if it has any magical properties, being that it was mud and is now wood?
Sure.
We beat a named boss. We should look. There's an achievement for that.
Totally. Something is just wrong about this piece of wood. Unnatural. Almost corrupt.
Hey, maybe you can identify that while we're identifying everything else.
40 minutes of identifying.
I'll put it in my backpack, just a little piece in my backpack, like break off a piece.
Mm-hmm.
But now look at Malkar and say, Malkar, you think you can firebolt a few more times? I think we should burn this before it, we shouldn't leave this here.
Wait, why?
Because something's not right about it.
Alright, I prestidigitation, light a little piece on fire, and then however long it takes, I'll use control flame and spread it 5 feet at a time.
Alright.
I'll help
Kind
him
of
light
hand
it
wave
up with
that.
prestidigitation.
Alright. So you manage to incinerate the remains of the tree blight and make your way back to the winery.
Okay.
And if it needs any controlling, I'll cast Shape Wall and make sure it doesn't burn down the forest.
Alright.
Yeah, I'll help make sure it doesn't burn down anything else.
Okay.
There's a reason why I picked up the cantrip Shape Water.
So yeah, you make your way back to the clearing with the vineyard and the winery, and we will pick up there next time.
Okay.
Are we leveling up